evening, sim racing fans across the country. It's a sim racing short track Thursday night on live sim racing TV and iRacing Live for race number 4 on the 2015-2016 Upstate Racing League Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated Pro Late Model season with the running of tonight's LakeCity Hobbies 100. We welcome you inside the virtual LSRTV broadcast booth, joined alongside by Cisco Scaramuza. My name, Evan Pasoko, and LSRTV's executive producer, Laura Lawson, in the trailer, getting us on the air tonight. The Irwindale Speedway, soon to join USA International Speedway and a couple of others at a track that just remains in the sim, because this racetrack gets taken to the wrecking ball at the end of the 2015 racing season, Cisco, but we get to enjoy it from now on, and I'll tell you what, excited about that because we're running the Outer Loop tonight in Irwindale, California, and this is a racetrack where the drivers are going to be plastered up against the fence, and the one alternative to that is going below the apron, and we have seen some exciting races here over the years and over the seasons with this Upstate Racing League, and I expect tonight to be none less than another exciting thriller.
Yeah, this is definitely that racetrack. Laura may as well build a counter right now for every time we say the words progressive banking, because that's what the Speedway is all about. You got to be on that high side. That's the quick line around here, whether you're in the National, the Super, or these cars, the Pro Late models. It's definitely that high line. It's sort of like what we saw back at the old Daytona race, whereas that high line, everyone wanted to be up there. So we're going to be seeing something similar to that, but I think it'll be interesting to see who can make that bottom line work to make the passes here and maybe get the slide job going.
The drivers at the moment just finishing up a 15-minute qualifying session before we get officially underway tonight from the Irwindale Speedway. We come into this LakeCity Hobbies 100 as race number 4 of 12 on the season. That's exciting and all, but the big picture is you got to be looking at the championship. The ultimate goal is to make it into the chase a little bit later on in the season. That is what will get you a Pro Late Model Championship. The 4th installment, though, on this 2015-2016 campaign about to get underway, and we're glad to have you with us on LSR TV. So let's get a rock and roll, and we go trackside for opening ceremonies and to Jaden Berkey with a singing of the U.S. National Anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The qualifying clock strikes 0, and it's time to do battle at the Irwindale Speedway. Let's take a look at the LakeCity Hobbies starting grid for the LakeCity Hobbies 100. The NHR Pole Award to Justin Fuller. Can't say I'm surprised there. The number 51 8 Design Wraps Toyota Camry rolls from the point with an 18.233 to grab pole tonight. Outside pole to number 96, Stefan Baranek will start in second. Joshua Cotton in third tonight. John Ada P4 and CJ LaVere in fifth.
Nicholas Rasmussen's going to roll off in 6th. 7th place is going to go to Charlie Ryan in the number 16. 8th place will go to Cody Myers. 9th place to the double clutch machine of TJ Graves, and 10th spot going to go to Dale O'Neill.
11th tonight for Brian Rogers Jr., Brandon Wilkinson in 12th position, Roger Holtzclaw in 13th. It'll be a 14th for Justin McDuff, and Brendan Odo back in traffic. The number 24 Corvette starts in 15th.
Eric Hag in the Hag TV Fusion, he's going to roll off 16th. 17th going to go to Philip Thompson. 18th to Cale Frenier. 19th to Bruce Hilton. And 20th to the 151 of Rodney Hag.
Al Smith Jr. starting in 21st tonight. 22nd is Danny DeBuke at CJ O'Rourke 23rd. 24th to AJ Hamill and Dylan Goded in 25th.
26th is Zach Mason in the 25. 27th going to go to Jay DeBuke. 28th is going to go to Mike Holtzclaw. 29th is going to go to Tony Manji. And 30th is going to be AJ Bunch.
So we get set to set off. It is Justin Fuller, the old-time race wins leader in the Upstate Racing League with 10 checkered flags in his career. Looks to add to that tonight. Let's take a look at the championship standings presented by Varno Construction into tonight's race number 4 on the season. It is Brandon Odo, who we talked about being back in the pack, that starts at the top in the points. Total of 120 points, 11 points in front of Justin Fuller, Nicholas Rasmussen, Philip Thompson, Brian Rogers Jr., the drivers that join him inside of the top 5, and Dale O'Neill, Eric Hag, Cotton Smith, and Ada, all the way down through P9, 10, and 11. Lights still off on the pace car, Cisco, progressive banking. That's the second or third time we've said it tonight. It won't be the last, as you mentioned. Inside or outside for this restart here?
Well, you can't, I don't believe you get the choice on the start for where you're going to start. But, once the restart's going here, you know, you may want to get maybe the run off the bottom, but that high side is so strong. I guess we'll have to see if they'll be able to reclaim it on the restarts here.
The lights go off on top of the pace car. That means we're set to do battle. We're glad to have you with us on LSRTV and iRacing Live. It's Justin Fuller going to lead us to the green flag in search of an 11th win in his Upstate racing career. The pace car dives down on the backstretch. There's a lot the 51 can do as they head towards the restart box down in turns number 3 and 4. Let's get this one underway. The green flag gets set to drop at a turn number 4. Green flag flies and we're underway. LakeCity Hobbies 100. Green down to turn 1. Fuller clear on the inside of the racetrack. He'll take the short way around for the first lap. Leads us down the back.
And right now, Stefan Marinak, he's going to fall in the line. But the first battle right there is going to be for that 6th spot. Nicholas Rasmussen is fighting alongside the 81 of Cotton, who's kind of slid back from starting 3rd. Cotton's now kind of falling back. He's stuck on that inside line, not able to get the jump. But right now, huge kind of battle. I see someone using the really bottom there. It's going to be that 24, Brandon Odo. He was going way down on the bottom, maybe trying to get a little grip there. Let's see if that works for him as the run goes on.
We said that these guys will be going below the apron. The 24, a little bit of that early on tonight as he tries to make his way through the field. Look at the battle, though. It continues around Joshua Cott. That number 81 Ollie's Bargain Outlet machine started in P3, fell to P6 after losing that battle that you talked about in 3 and 4 on the opening lap. Now he finds himself topside, and it's the bottom. Dale O'Neill not working out. The Twisted T Chevy's got to check it up because he can't go anywhere else. 2 wide on top of him, making it a 3 wide battle. That's CJ LaVere slotting back in the middle. Number 44 Speed Force Chevrolet SS. He's in a good fight with now with Charlie Ryan, and just behind him, TJ Graves gets the better of the number 56 of Brandon Wilkinson.
Yeah, and right now as they head into turn 1, TJ's going to slide up into Wilkinson, give him a little bit of bumper there. Wilkinson gives him a little tap back, says, hey, you know, I am still here, you know. But TJ's able to make it single file there. Now he's going to go in pursuit of CJ LaVere in the 44. Right now the bottom, O'Neill still trying to make it work down there, but I don't think it's going to work. And there we go, we have contact, cards around.
Caution flag will fly, slowing them down early inside of the top 5 laps in this race. The 91 machine of Justin McDuff turned around on the front straightaway. The yellow flag is out, and this contact came behind that battle that we were looking at, actually just behind Brandon Odo. Turn number 4, and it's the inside of the racetrack. Eric Hag, it kind of looked like that car stepped up the hill, but I'm not entirely convinced that the 91 didn't cut it off a little bit. Nonetheless, contact between Eric Hag and the number 91 of Justin McDuff. McDuff spins around, keeps it off the fence, though. Bad news for Eric Hag as he continues to search for some consistency and momentum early in this 2015-2016 championship. hard impact into the inside wall, so that's going to be a tough lick for the driver of the 98 Hag TV Ford. If there's any good news, he is the A to Z Wraps award winner on the night. Not normally the one you want to be going for being involved in the first accident, but try to build from this, get that car fixed up, and again, slowing us down early here at the Irwindale Speedway. This outer loop, Cisco, just half a mile in length, but we're talking about lap times sub 19 seconds per lap. So when this race goes green, and I can guarantee you it will at some point, the laps will knock off very quickly.
Yeah, right now as we see the lucky dog who's going to go by, that's the 92. That is Tony Manchi, who I believe was a little late to getting on the grid, but he's going to get the CFK lucky dog there and get back on the lead lap, so that's awesome for him right there. But yeah, no, definitely that outer line is where you want to be, and I think what happened on that first wreck, I think both guys were just trying to be up on that high line. They know how fast it is up there, and just, you know, grumbling for the same piece of real estate. And that's one of the hardest things to do here, is you're so used to people maybe trying to get on the outside for a line like this, or trying to stay in that line and kick you out of it. It's kind of almost inverse here, because you're kind of backwards of how you're used to it, whereas instead of being on the bottom, you want to be on the top.
Justin McDuff, again, he didn't get the contact with the fence, so he'll get the wave by once the lights go on for the pace car, go back to the lead lap. Eric Hag damaged one lap to the negative. He would have to hope to get the CFK Construction lucky dog on the next caution. He's currently in the position to do so.
Yeah, and I guess we'll just have to see right now what happens, but right now is we're getting set. I believe the lights are going to go out this time on the pace car, but looking back, a couple people who've moved up a couple spots. How about Brandon Wilkinson? He started 12th. He's now 9th. Another big mover from 17th to 13th. Philip Thompson, the 17. He's also a decent-sized mover here. So some of these guys are already starting to find ways to gain a couple spots here.
The wave by goes through. Justin Fuller elects to take the outside of the racetrack into the Bernardi water machine, and we're reset to go back at it. The front row, no change. It's Fuller, Marinak. They do swap lanes, though. Row 2 a little bit different. Look at it's John Ada from 4th to 3rd, Nicholas Rasmussen P6 to P4, and Cody Myers P8 to P5 to the top 5 cars for this restart. Pace car down to the way. We look for the American Ethanol green flag at a turn number 4. Back underway we go. Fuller set sail to turn 1, and this time he'll ride the top side. It's Marinak who tries to take the shorter way around. No grip though off the corner. Slides high into second.
Yeah, I think the line that's going to work on the restart's the one Justin Fuller's in, because he got a great restart there. All the way to the bottom, though, is the Jack Daniels machine, and we have contact right now. That's Emil up in the wall. He's going to keep it straight, though. So no caution. We're still green here, but I think I saw him go on 2 tires a little bit there.
And that's contact in front with the driver of the 24 championship leader, Brandon Otto, tagged in the left rear, somehow saves the iRacing Beam Chevrolet, gets away a lot better than Dale O'Neill did. You talked about the 54 Twisted T entry, pretty banged up. He's still out there on track, though. No caution flag, and we stay green. Big news in all of that, the fact that Odo makes the contact, or rather got hit in the left rear, really had nothing to do with it at his own part, just to check up topside. P12 right now for your championship leader, and that car doesn't look like he got any damage from it, and again, partly into the fact that he got that good save. Somebody sideways in front of him, though, down the back straightaway, and hearing that it was the 81 machine, maybe with some problems in the corner, connection problems at the moment, it looks like. The driver of the 81 machine, that's going to cause some problems for Joshua Cotton, who was the top 3 car. Now there's a caution, no trouble behind the leaders.
I'm looking at it, and I'm not really sure what the cause of that one was, but it might have had something to do with Joshua Cotton. It looked like he kind of flew out of the sim a little bit. He's back now on track, so we'll have to take a look and see what brought that out, but that was kind of weird.
Well, we had just mentioned that 81 had some sort of connection problem, and we're not going to be able to show you a replay because that car was not visible on the sim. Connection problems, if somebody's computer or their internet is not able to constantly reach the sim, their car is going to disappear for everybody else, but for them, Cisco, they don't notice any difference. It's just all the other cars disappear. So Cotton keeps logging laps, and I'm not sure if he comes back into the sim, maybe makes contact with somebody, or comes back into the sim inside of somebody else's car. One way or another, though, Joshua Cotton ended up sideways. That is what triggered the caution flag.
Yeah, absolutely. But right now, that was great news for that 98 machine, Eric Hack. He's going to get the CFK Lucky Dog here. So he'll be able to get his lap back. So that's going to build him back up to the lead lap there, Evan. But right now, as the cars continue to pace, remember, we have the 4-tire rule in effect tonight. That means you only get 4 tires altogether. That's all you get. So, you know, you have a couple strategy. Maybe someone might try to take 2 sets of 2. Maybe someone will try and take 1 set of 4. It'll be interesting here, but I think it's way too early before we start thinking about pit stops, but it's always an option.
And top side down the back straightaway goes Eric Kang, could be the first recipient of the CFK Construction Lucky Dog on tonight. That car pretty banged up, so he'll try to get something going with it. And again, aerodynamics not a big part of short track racing, but I mean, it's nice to have a clean car. I'm sure it handles a lot better. So he'll get back to the back of the lead lap, get back set to do battle. Justin Fuller, though, still leading this race. Again, haven't had a long green flag opportunity for somebody to make a lot of passes. The guys that are making good headway, Cisco, they're right around the guys that you were talking about under that first caution flag, outside the top 10. The guys that maybe had a bad qualifying effort, that are taking advantage of not getting involved in the accidents, getting safely around them, and picking up spots in chunks. Guys like AJ Hamill up 10 spots, EJ O'Rourke positive 10, Zachary Mason up 10, AJ Bunch up 11. Couple of guys, they're all outside, at least at this point, the guys that I named, outside of the top 12. But it's a good start, 22 laps in. Again, 2 quick caution flags, Cisco. We're already at the 1/5 mark.
Yeah, I mean, these tracks are really quick, but looks like we just had CJ LeVere. He just, I think we lost him. Maybe had a little bit of a connection issue there, but he's pulled it behind the wall. So that was the driver of the number 44 machine. I believe he's parked it for the night.
So CJ LeVere, again, talked about him being top 5 earlier tonight, qualified P5. That car came down to the pit lane, he parked it in the stall, and then manually disconnected from the sim. So it could have been a problem outside of his sim, or something that will prevent him from finishing tonight's race. He has scored in 29th position, and it looks like Dale O'Neill 3 laps down in the 30th spot. Contact, though, and we're wrecking under the caution flag. Dale O'Neill, just as I said him, contact with the driver that's having connection problems. The 91 gets turned. Green flag flies, though, as that's back in the pack. We're underway, so Fuller set sail, but there's trouble down the back. The track should be clear, though.
Yeah, McDuff's lost a lot of time in that lead pack now, but he's just going to have to soldier on right now as Justin Fuller leads them down the backstretch, heading into turn 3. 3 wide almost right there. The 12 goes way on the outside. He's able to get it back down. That was Brian Rogers Jr. He's able to get it situated, but I see some... oh, boy, here we go. It's this fighting for that real estate on the top line as we have a couple more cars shuffling. It's just so weird here. I mean, you know, you're fighting for the top line, and this is such a weird track to do that. So way down on the track was the 24. You see all sorts of strategies going right now, Evan.
The bottom's good because it's a lot shorter around, geologically speaking, if you want to say. But the problem is there's no banking to hook that car up off the corner. So you're just pushing up to the wall, or if you're loose, the back end's sliding up the fence. So you'll see with a guy like that 24 Brandon Odo, who, by the way, it worked that time. So he slots up in line, scored a P12 at the moment. You're going to push up, and if you're side by side or 3 wide, that's when it gets ugly. Basically, if somebody passes you like that, it's the dirtiest slide job imaginable. That's why you see the guys on the inside. They're not really giving those guys above them a whole lot of room because they're trying to get a whole lot of banking, as much banking really as they can, which is why we saw guys like Stefan Baranek and other guys, although they were on the bottom, instead of the guys top side pinching guys down, the guys on the bottom are actually pinching the top guys up against the fence.
Yeah, right there is looks like we had 2 cars trying to go to the bottom side. That was the 17 of Thompson and the 16 of Bryan there. They looked like they got together trying to get to the inside there, but they'll sort that out. Nothing really big there. But how about John Ada? He's trying to get the lead away from Justin Fuller.
There's quite the tire marks left on the 17. They got stuck together. We stay green. They continue to battle. The battle for the race lead. Top side, though, is on. It's the 51 of Justin Fuller. He has it right now. John Ada trying to take it from him and trying to go to victory lane on this season. Running second, and I mean, right, you talk about up against the fence. That's the Kyle Larson line way out there as Ada goes in search of his second trip to victory lane after he won the season opener on this year. Second right now. How about TJ Graves, the number 22 machine? 3 DNFs in 3 starts, and if he has another accident tonight, he would be subject to a suspension for an incident point cap. He's running on the podium in third.
Yeah, I talked to him this week, and he is very hungry to win one of these races. He's just had a lot of bad things go his way, but he is definitely the hungriest driver, I think, in this whole field. He needs a win badly because he knows he's fast. He just needs to get up there and run with the leaders right there. But right now, Ada's starting to lose a little bit of time to Fuller, his teammate, but right now, it looks like everything's single file all the way through the top 15. But right now, TJ's under attack from the 71 of Nicholas Rasmussen.
And the thing I like about this is we talk about the championship in this series. Well, there's a chase that determines the championship and who walks away at the championship, and more importantly, who gets into the championship. The magic number that you have to talk about is 14. TJ Graves, 3 DNFs. He's 28th in points, so he's not going to win the championship on all-out points. But if you can get to the top 14, which is still difficult to do with the competition in this league and haven't had any bad starts, though caution flag is out on track. We'll get to that in a moment. 2-car incident down the back straightaway. Eric Hag, Mike Holtzclaw involved, and it starts with contact from the 2 and the 98. And that's just the case, I think, of the 2 of Holtzclaw just not being able to get back to the gas in time, and Eric Hag was able to. And those 2 guys make contact, and they both spit him out in turn number 2. We'll take a look at the LSRTV replay now on that Cisco, but back to the point about the chase for Graves. You know, if this is a 12 races, points straight up, you're not going to win it after 3 DNFs, but he can probably maybe get a top 14 in points over the next 5 weeks, but he needs to run strong, so it takes a lot of guts to go out there, run top 3, knowing that if you're in another accident, you're going to be suspended. But that's all he can do right now, because this championship, despite a terrible start, is far from over for him. Maybe getting all the bad runs out of the way early.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't hurt, you know, to kind of come into the, you know, you have a couple bad races, you got to reset that mindset and go, all right, we just got to battle hard, but we can't be in any stupid situations. Got to make sure we know what we're doing when we're driving around. But right now, he's having a great race right now. But how about the 81? When we took a look at that replay, Joshua Cotton, he was about an inch away from being collected in that, and he saved it. So, or he was able to just barely make it through right there. So Joshua Cotton might need a new driver's suit after this race.
Race leaders are going to not elect to use the opportunity to come down to the pit lane this time by. Justin Fuller stays out. Again, the drivers in the Upstate Racing League given 4 extra Hoosier Racing tires. They got 4 on the car. There's 4 in the pit stall. You can take 4 tires. You can take 2 swings right side tires. The strategy is up to you, but no more than 4 tires may be added to these cars. And because of that, it has made a couple of these races. It's interesting because we haven't had a race really, Cisco, where we had 2 different tire strategies and they ended up there kind of the same at the end and they raced it out. We've had 2 kinds of races so far in these opening 3 races, and that is 2 races where the guys up front were solely dictated based on the fact that they were faster than everybody else, and then we had another instance where the guys up front late were based solely on the fact that the tire strategy they used was. So it's hard to predict what the tire strategy would mean. I think a lot of guys, and Fuller included, they're not going to pit because you risk putting yourself back in the pack. And a good example to use that, and don't want to keep saying the same name over and over, but, you know, Brandon Otto in 11th position, even Charlie Ryan, the number 16 behind him in 12th, top 6 cars in the practice session, but they can't just break through the field because it is extremely difficult to pass, and all of the contact that we're seeing is right around where they are, so I don't think the tires are worth that risk, and I think a lot of guys thinking the same thing based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is you get so accustomed, especially on these short track races, once you start wearing the tires a little bit, you get accustomed to driving the car like that, especially to track like Irwindale, where you got to really hit your marks. You can't really miss too much because you'll be up in that wall if you're not careful. So I think when you take new tires, the car definitely handles better, I guess. But the problem is you've been driving, you know, conservatively with these old tires, and that's completely different than how you're driving with these new tires. So the car will handle a lot different as we get the green flag right there, and we're back underway here. As right now, Fuller is actually going to once again get a great lead, but right now the battle's for second between the 97 of John Ada and Nicholas Rasmussen's fighting hard on that outside.
Fuller wants to drive away, and how about a kiss to the fence to help him diamond the quarter? The 51 using every single inch of the track bottom side for that 97 to John Ada. He ducks in line, seizes that opportunity as opposed to forcing the issue. Make sure that Brian Rogers Jr. doesn't have the opportunity to take a swipe at him. So it's Ada third, Rogers in fourth, and TJ Graves P5. This might be a good fight for third, if not fourth here soon. Side by side behind these guys, Marinak topside makes the pass on Cody Myers.
Yeah, and right now, Fuller's trying to put a little bit of a gap right there, and we can see him lean the car out coming out of the corner. He's trying to put all the throttle he can into that, but the 97 looked like he got up in the wall a little bit. John Ada, he's blinking out a little bit, so a couple connection issues for him, but nothing too bad right now. But right now, the first battle I see is EJ O'Rourke. He's going way down the bottom. He's trying to make that work. So that's the 41 car right there. He's trying to make it work on the inside. We'll have to see how that works out for him.
So far, the outside has been the place to be for the defensive line because you're forcing that guy on the bottom to play their cards, show you their cards, and really try to do something. So far, nobody has been able to do anything with Fuller. TJ Graves, though, said it would be a fight for the number 3 or 4 spot. Well, he picks up 1. Brian Rogers Jr. back to 5th, the 22 with the move. And how about bottom side for Stefan Marinak, the number 96 machine, trying with a power move on the inside of the racetrack to get clear, can't quite do it. Cody Myers sits behind, he gets it done at a 2. Nice move.
Yeah, great move right there by Marinak. It looks like Fuller caught a piece of the wall yet again, so he's got to be careful not to do that. And here we go, a car around the 16. He saves it. No, he hits the wall, but he saves that. Great save by Charlie Ryan. I have no idea how he saved that.
And with that, there's no caution. We stay green. The number 16, Jack Daniels Chevy, got hit on the door by the 92, sideways, saved it, back up the hill, and the fence kind of straightened him out, but no caution flag. Could have been a lot worse. And for the 25 now, Zachary Mason sideways. He hangs on also. So even back in 15th and 16th, these guys all over each other.
And how about Bruce Hilton? He's running 10th right now. He's putting up a heck of a charge right there on that outside. He's holding off the points leader right now, Brandon Odo. Hilton, he had a great week last week at Martinsville, so I think he might be a sleeper here. He's been having a couple good runs, so I think he might be the guy to watch here.
Going to be halfway this time by as we get the cross flags. It's Justin Fuller in front of the field at the moment, leading the Lake City Hobbies 100 start through. So far, let's take a look at your iRacing.com Midway race break at the halfway point and running down through the running order as they battle right now. Justin Fuller, your race leader, over front in front of Nicholas Rasmussen and John Ada, now back in third. TJ Graves P4 and Stefan Marinak in fifth. Cody Myers with a move on Brian Rogers Jr. Not going to work. He's in the fence. So Rogers going to go back to P5, or rather P6. Myers to 7th. Brandon Wilkinson in 8th spot. Philip Thompson 9th. And Brandon Odo cracks the top 10 in the 24 car.
And right behind them, Tony Manji is kind of the last car in that little pack. And then we have a great dogfight right here between AJ Bunch in the 12th spot, 13th and EJ O'Rourke, 14th and 15th, and Hilton flies up in the outside wall. So he's going to be 15th, but that's a lot of damage on that 52 car as he slides down the bottom. 16th is going to go to Zachary Mason, 25. 17th is going to go to Joshua Kahn, who's started, and there he goes around. No, saved it. Again. No,
He's in the fence. He saves the car from spinning. He'll pick up some damage. He'll lose a couple of spots. So the 18, the 61, the 26 pass him. So that'll drop him back to 20th. And then Rodney Hackhill, Frenier, Roger Holtzclaw, Justin McDuff, Al Smith Jr., and Mike Holtzclaw round out the 26 drivers on the lead lap. But even on the long green flag stretch, as we begin to start to work at the cars, not getting any easier to handle as we enter now the final 45 laps in this race. This has been your iRacing.com Midway Race Break, presented by iRacing.com, the official sim racing partner of NASCAR. So talk about gaps here. Fuller, 0.7 of a second in front of Nicholas Rasmussen. It looked like Rasmussen was going to do something with the 51, and now it's John Ada putting the move for second. Those guys side by side in 1 and 2. Bottom, not the place to be that time. The 97, though, keeps the nose.
Yeah, but the 71 keeps getting a little loose, but he's going to drop in behind the 71 of Rasmussen now. So Ada's going to maybe look for the 71 to make a little bit of a mistake. Meanwhile, behind them, you have a battle between Marinac and Graves. There they go into 1 and 2. And Marinac's kind of putting a little bit of the bumper to that 22. But we'll have to see if he can do anything here coming into 3 and 4. There he goes down to the bottom, maybe trying to make that work. TJ now going to run to that middle line. Marinac going to slide up the track, and TJ's going to put a little time on the 96 there.
And that's good news for him as he tries to get back to third where he was prior to the most recent caution flag. Trouble on the front, straightaway caution flag is out. And spinning it is Joshua Cotton, the number 81 machine, sideways on the front straightaway. He, though, an innocent victim. Danny DeBuke, topside on the 26, and I don't want to say I saw contact, Cisco, maybe a little bit, because that was a close battle with that 61 of Dubuque and Godet on the inside.
It wasn't anything intentional, but I think a little bit of, close racing, but he just, I think, barely caught him on the wrong quarter panel, and that just sent the 61 straight in the 81. And there was really Joshua Cotton, nowhere for him to go right there. He was just a victim, but Danny Dubuque, the car doesn't look too bad. It's not the worst car I've seen out there, so I think he'll be able to keep motoring on.
He's able to get back going relatively okay. Under the caution flag, Justin Fuller going to catch the pace car, and with this, we'll step away for a brief moment on LSRTV, and we'll bring you back for the restart inside of the final 40 laps in the Lake City Hobbies 100. We'll toss out a checkered flag at Irwindale when we come back.
Domino's TYJ Racing League is proud to announce we are now taking driver applications for our $2,500 purse inaugural season going green January 2016. At Domino's TYJ Racing League, you get paid cash, not gift cards or die casts. Cold, hard cash. You get paid for finishing 1st through 20th in our championship and 1st through 3rd, plus a lucky dog bonus in all of our 20 races, plus other cash bonuses. You're going to like the way you look, all the way to the bank. I guarantee it. Purse amount approximate, paid cash or iRacing bucks. Drivers carry less than $20. Report unsafe driving to local authorities. Apply today at Domino'sTYJRacing.com to see if you qualify for our league. And join our preseason Thunder tryout races Saturday nights at 8 p.m. through the end of 2015 to see if you have what it takes to make the cut and some cash.
Did you know that Lion's sense of vision is so powerful, it actually enables nearby creatures to see better? Here we see lions assisting the offspring of others, while their parents are elsewhere in the wild. Brilliant, isn't it? Making the wild kingdom look much better indeed. Do good, be a lion.
Back live at the virtual Irwindale Speedway for LSRTV's coverage of the 2015-2016 Upstate Racing League Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated Pro Late Model Series. The Lake City Hobbies 100 going to be exactly at 35 laps to go, Cisco, for the restart. And so far, this has been Justin Fuller's night. He's got just about 1/4 of the race left to go.
Yeah, but everyone from 14th back, for the most part, came down pit road, I think, to get their tires. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to be able to fly through this field. That'll even help us. We have a little bit of a checkup as we head through turn 4 right now. But the pace car going to hit pit road. Green flag is back out. Fuller on the loud pedal. He's gone.
And that leaves the two guys behind him to fight for second. Topside, TJ Graves is going to get used up by Nicholas Rasmussen, so the 71 is able to hold on. Contact the 97, back in the pack, John Ada sideways. Brandon Oda now into the 56. 1, 2, 3 pieces of contact. They're getting feisty for P5.
Yeah, right now, and there goes TJ. He's going to take a look to the inside.
Oh, there he goes. He turned
Contact,
him.
97 around. Huge wreck. Caution's going to come out, I'm pretty sure.
The 97 in the air, caution flag will fly, and a huge accident in turn number 1 and 2. Yellow flag will fly. Championship leader Brandon Otto heavily damaged, and that changes the complexion of this. It started in 3 and 4, really. Well, typically the LSRTV plays this go. A lot of guys bouncing off each other, and then John Ada side by side to turn 1 with the 56 top side. That is Brandon Wilkinson, and it looks like a connection problem for John Ada because the 97 machine stationary and the 56 phases through the 97, so one of those drivers having a connection problem. I would assume it's the driver that I guess allowed the other driver to go through him, but a little bit of connection problems. Nonetheless, though, I still think that those guys would have touched Cisco because they were rubbing each other's doors down the straightaway. The problem is, once Ada got turned up there, it was an absolute log jam. The 12 was in it, the 17, the 26, the 75, the 4, and then not to mention, as you whispered to me, that it was Brandon Otto who took a big hit on the engine of that car just after getting to a top 7 spot, and there's heavy black smoke.
Yeah, there's a ton of cars involved here, and it just goes to show, this is a pretty wide track, but everyone runs that top line, and something like that happens, and suddenly, we have a completely different, I think, like, from 5th back, we have a bunch of new faces up here now. Talking about Tony Manji, AJ Bunch, they were in around 10th to 12th, they were able to make it through that, more or less. A couple cars looks like they've been through the hedge trimmer, but for the most part, it's a short track. Just... get the hammer, beat the quarter panel out, you'll be good.
So the 56 of Brandon Wilkinson down to the pit lane for 4 tires and fuel in the Art of Ruin Chevrolet. So this is going to put him back a little bit. We'll see where exactly that will be at the start-finish line. Talk about how you really need those tires to work. 18th position for taking the tires. Fuller, Rasmussen, Graves, Manji, and Bunch, top 5. Those top 3 names we've been talking about all night, Cisco, but you mentioned Manji and Bunch right now. The 92 of Tony Manji, 29th to 4th. AJ Bunch, 30th to 5th. At the moment, both of those guys tied in the Mach 2 Management Hard Charger Award on the race. Give it out to the biggest mover, start to finish. So positive almost 15 for both of the, or rather almost positive 25 for both of those guys. That's pretty good. Can you get 3 more? Nicholas Rasmussen in the 71. He's been very generous, I feel like, to be running in second at Irwindale. He hasn't really gotten into Justin Fuller. First off, I guess Justin Fuller doesn't play around. So are you scared to hit him or are you waiting?
I don't know, because the bump and run is, once again, because we're on this outer line, the bump and run's a lot more dangerous to do here, because if you hit someone in the corner, they could spin down into the corner, come right back up the track, and, we sort of have that same logjam we saw before, but it'll be interesting. I'm definitely keep an eye on that 41 machine of O'Rourke. He's Mr. Come Through the Pack a couple times this season so far. Remember, he's got those fresh tires.
We'll give it another go, just inside of 28 laps to go. Fuller topside goes a little bit early. American Ethanol, green flag, back in the air. Lake City Hobbies 100, back it away. Side by side for second at 92. Tony Manji, topside, trying to get the place seat Chevy to second. He's got it.
Yeah, right now is the battle's right there
contact.
for second and third. TJ Graves gets a hit by the 71.
There goes the 14 and Graves.
Car around caution.
Bunch in the middle of the field. Caution flag is out. TJ Graves caught up in the accident after running in third. Yellow flag is out. And this starts with the 71. I said Rasmussen's been patient. He was done with that. And I think he tried to get up in front of TJ Graves behind that 92. And he comes up, just a little bit. And when Graves is up there, maybe a little bit of net code to play into that, checks those guys up, and they would have been fine because they were 2 wide, 2 rows deep. But when you check one car up, as we look at the replays, Cisco, it slows Graves down. Then you're in a 3 wide spot. And we talked about the bottom, how that car just pushes right up the hill. So when Stefan Marinak went to the bottom, there's nothing he could have done to avoid that 14 of AJ Bunch, who was running a lot lower than he expected because they ended up being 3 wide.
Yeah, and I mean, Marinac just kind of went down there hoping he could maybe get a little bit of a run. It just pushed up, and, you know, we'll talk about it again, progressive banking. We're going to say it a couple more times tonight, but, yep, that's definitely what happened there. I mean, not a whole lot you can do. That car gets so tight on the bottom that sometimes you really can't do anything about it.
CFK Construction Lucky Dog topside goes around the racetrack, so Dan DeBook going to get his way back onto the lead lap. That number 61 machine looks like it could use some construction services, sitting one lap down, and he'll get waved back by. So he'll be 22 cars on the lead lap. A little bit of a beaten and battered, though, Lake City RC Speedway, number 61 Ford Fusion. So a couple of cautions here, back to back to back. Slow the pace down of this race very quickly. I want to say, it's actually Stefan Marinac down to the pit lane, so that 96, he has to come down for getting front-end damage and all of that after he had been a top 5 car all night. Fuller still not even looking down to the pit lane. If you're Fuller, I would have to think that you're enjoying this. I mean, you probably have a car that's fast enough to pull away, but we really haven't seen Cisco to 51 pull away. I think the biggest gap we've seen all night was 7 or 8 tenths of a second. So because he's the control car, as long as he can get a jump, these cautions are giving those guys behind him less and less opportunities to challenge him. Now, when those guys behind him have less and less opportunities to challenge, what do? When they make a challenge, it's a lot more aggressive. This would be a hell of a restart. Net 92 with Tony Manji, 29th to 2nd. Let's see what he's got.
I think he's going to be really hungry, you know, starting way back in the pack. I mean, I think he missed the first missed like the first lap. But it'll be interesting to see what's he going to do here. I got to think he's going to be as aggressive as humanly possible right now as we get set to take the green.
How much is the checkered flag worth to you? Green flag going to fly with 21 laps to go. Fuller on the loud pedal. Green flag flies back and away we go. No battle for second. 92 Avanji. Bottom side in 1 and 2. The 51 catches the fence. Manji going to have to go up in line behind them. Battle for third is on. Rasmussen looks like he'll hold off AJ Bunch to turn 3. 14.
Now it's way down the inside once against that 16 of Charlie Ryan. He was way down on the apron there, but maybe trying to make that work. Meanwhile, Manji's trying to make the outside work for him so he can gain a little bit of time on Fuller. Fuller hasn't been flawless tonight. He's gotten in the wall. There he goes again, in fact, up in the outside wall. But right now the battle is for third between AJ Bunch and the 14 and the 71 of Rasmussen.
And finally, that top side gets the upper hand, so the 71 of Rasmussen pulls in line. And just as he does that, the 75, Cody Myers trying it the hard way. Bottom side for the Valvoline Chevrolet. The battle now side by side for fourth on that. Look at that 16. Charlie Ryan down to the apron every single time. Almost tags EJ O'Rourke. Maybe one of the first times we've mentioned the driver, the 41. 23rd to 6th for the Gary Mercer Truck and Chevrolet. He's looking real good just outside of the top 5.
Fuller's in the wall right there. Like I said, he hasn't been perfect, and Manji is coming. He definitely gains on him going in the corner. I think he's driving that car real hard. So I think we'll see. Oh, now Manji into the wall. Oh boy, this is getting good right now, Evan. It's going to look like an old-fashioned Darlington finish.
And if they've learned anything from Kyle Larson, it's that you can hit the wall, but don't hit it too many times. They're using the wall to turn now. Both of them plow it in turn number 3. That time by 16 to go. Look at Manji driving it in so hard he's trying to get to the bumper.
Oh man, this is he's driving that car really aggressively right now. Trying to get, but it's gonna get up in the wall a little bit there. But he's trying to get to that back bumper of Fuller. I think we might see the bumper here in the next couple laps. In fact, there we go.
He's trying, yeah, he's going so hard in, and he's ducking low off. He's doing a very early dime into the corner. Caution flag, though, just as he got to the bumper. These guys not happy, but oh, more contact. There we go. The 2 car involved in this one also. Brian Rogers Jr. gets tagged after Holtzclaw went for a ride in the number 21 machine.
And as he came up the track, he just got right in the way of the 12 and the 2 of Rogers and the other Holtzclaw. So that's gonna put Mike. That's gonna send him straight down the pits. He's smoking. That's probably the end of the 2 car right there.
Holtzclaw not the initial contact. We saw Philip Thompson, Rodney Hack get together. They saved it. It was when that 21 got on the brake pedal that the car got sideways, spun around in the field. Initially got a piece of Stefan Marinac, and Holtzclaw was on the apron. The caution flag is out, Cisco, and then he pulls up and takes out 2 other cars. You can't let that happen.
Yeah, I don't really know what the thinking was behind that, so I don't know. We might have to talk to him after the race, but right now, as we get set, you got to think they're not going to have a whole lot of time left, and it took Manji a good 3-4 laps to really get up to the bumper of Fuller, but we know Fuller's been abusing that outside wall, so I don't think I see a single car in this entire field that doesn't have some sort of damage, Evan.
I'd say your leader, but they've been using the wall to turn. So those guys also got the right side of the race cars beat up just a little bit. Now we go inside of the LSRTV 10 to go. And it's going to be in a position where, as we've seen recently, probably, based on the numbers, going to see at least another caution flag. Caution inside of 4 laps to go means that this race ends under a slowed pace with the checker and the yellow alongside each other. But Tony Manji, he showed us that he doesn't need a whole lot of green flag laps because he's not concerned with setting up a pretty pass. He's looking just to get it done one way or another. Let's see this. And it'll be the 14 of AJ Bunch, who, by the way, also one of the big movers. Both Manji and Bunch, 27 cars passed respectively for both of them. They want to win this race because you can't get any more of a Mach 2 Management Hard Charge award than going from the back to the front.
Yeah, but come on, Evan. You know he wants that one more spot. Come on.
And how physical do you get? The car's already torn up. You're not saving the sheet metal for anything, so we will see how this goes. Way by, you see in front of your race leaders that number 21 Roger Holtzclaw involved in the accident, not a lead lap driver, or he is a lead lap driver, sorry, but he'll get the way by join up to the back of the lead lap for that matter when we go back green. It'll be Fuller, Manji, Bunch. You would assume that Fuller takes the top side. His 92 has been liking the top side also. Charlie Ryan, P7, the Jack Daniels machine. I know he's a couple of rows back, but he's been putting the left side tires in the grass a couple of times tonight, so I'd keep a half eye back on row 4.
Yeah, definitely. But it's going to be interesting here as lights are out on the Ford Mustang pace car, and that's going to stack up the field. I think this will be... we could still have one more restart, but I don't think we'll have it because of how short these laps are. So this is going to be interesting here. It's going to be one heck of a battle if that 92 can get up to the 51.
8 laps to go in Irwindale, California. The pace car down to the safety of the pit lane. When does Fuller jump in the 51? Control car in turns 3 and 4. American Ethanol. Green flag flies. Back and away we go. Side by side for third. The 92 with Tony Manji. Sole possession a second. Sails it off to turn 1 and can't get him in.
But that was a great start by him, as right now Rasmussen's trying to make the outside work. He wants to be in this conversation. He's going to get the 3rd spot right now. There goes Bunch to the bottom again. They're going to get really close coming out of the corner, but make it. Meanwhile, Ryan is all over the place. He goes way down up into the 25 right now. And now Bunch is going to try it again on the 51, but this is going to be really close here. But a couple cars hit the outside walls. They head into 3.
And that 92's got to get to the leader before he gets caught. It's a hornet's nest by the 14 of AJ Bunch. Bottom side for the 75 of Cody Myers. Top side is EJ O'Rourke. High into the corner. Nothing yet. Can Tony Manji, though, get the job done? Does he have to throw a Hail Mary? The gap, 3 car lengths to turns 3 and 4. Fuller set and sail, maybe 5 laps to go at the start-finish line. This race will go to the end. A caution flag would end it now.
Right now, but I don't think Manji has used everything yet. I think he still has a couple good shots, but Fuller is definitely starting to pull away, so maybe he has. I don't know. We'll have to see. Manji driving it hard in the corner, trying to get every single ounce of horsepower left in that Chevy Monte Carlo, trying to catch Fuller as they head into 3 right now. There they go. Right now, AJ O'Rourke, meanwhile, he's sneaking into the picture now. He wants to get past that 75 of Myers. Myers going to slam the door on him, though, but I believe it's going to be a 2-horse race for the finish here.
Rasmussen was able to pass AJ Bunch on the restart. The 14 gave him a shot that time in turn 4, and that opens up the door for Cody Myers to take a peek to the inside, and that'll be side by side down the back straightaway. The fight for P4 is on, but up top side, Justin Fuller. 2 laps to go. The gap continues to grow, and Manji in the fence again. Fuller's got a mile left.
Justin Fuller, he's putting out one heck of a gap, but Manji's driving that car so hard. But is he driving it too hard? Are they going to catch him behind him? Now Manji going to put a little bit of a gap on 3rd. Meanwhile, they're fighting the 71, the 75. Cody Myers going to dive to the inside right there and try and get that 3rd spot.
White flag in the air, final lap at Irwindale. The gap half a second. Does Tony Manji have anything left in the bag? Back straightaway for the final time for the ADesignWraps.com entry. 3 and 4. To the bottom goes the 92. Sideways, and he can't get there. What a move. Fuller, turn 4. You can put it in the bank. Checkered flag flies the 51 to victory lane. The Lake City Hobbies 100 is the 11th career victory for Justin Fuller in the Upstate Racing League. What a move by Tony Manji. He just about plowed the 51. That's talk about giving it everything you have. Problem there, he's still able to get second out of it as they went side by side for P2. That deserves a second look. Rasmussen third, Myers fourth, and AJ Bunch in P5. And the statistics won't show it, Cisco, with Justin Fuller leading every lap, because a couple of times when guys came down to the pit lane, they actually crossed the start-finish line in front of your leaders. But outside of that, Justin Fuller led every single lap in the race as far as racing-wise.
Yeah, but you got to give a call to that 92, Tony Manji. He was giving it everything, and that's just awesome to see here at Upstate.
It looked like a wing sprint car how sideways it was.
I was going to say, he was trying some dirt racing tactics right there, trying to kick the car loose in the back end out a little bit there, but that was an awesome race right there. Manji did a great job right there, but Justin Fuller is going to be your winner. He's going to do the Polish victory lap here. Salute the fans.
He burns it down, and he salutes the Irwindale, California crowd, a winner for the 11th time in his career in the Upstate Racing League. The 2015 Les Enterprises MP Roy Pro Late Model win at Irwindale goes to Justin Fuller. We look forward to talking with him and a couple more of your top finishers post-race from the Irwindale Speedway coming up in just a moment as LSRTV's continuing coverage of the Upstate Racing League rolls on tonight on iRacing Live. Back in a moment from the Irwindale Speedway post-race show and the wrap-up. We'll see you in a minute.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerator.
Once its sights are set, nothing can stop the ferocious lion from capturing its prey. Relying on keen senses, lions search patiently before striking with alarming speed. Wait for it. Gotcha, Mr. Piece of Rubbish. He is truly the master of his environment. Do good, be a lion. Back live and post-race from the virtual Irwindale Speedway on LSRTV and iRacing Live. We welcome you back into the LSRTV broadcast tower. Evan Pasoko, Cisco Scarmuza, Laura Lawson in the production hauler here with you, Cisco. Exciting finish to this one at Irwindale. We knew the progressive banking would come into play. Top side, though,
proved to be the right side, and Justin Fuller, your race winner tonight in the Lake City Hobbies 100. We're going to get the post-race interviews kicked off, though. I've caught up down on the pit lane with your third-place finisher tonight, Nicholas Rasmussen, the driver of the number 71 machine, walks away with the Mach 2 Management Hard Charger Award, 29th to 2nd. Passes 27 cars to walk away in a couple of good positions here as well. But Nicholas, you had a very good race in your own right. You started P6, you come home P3 tonight. A very solid, a very consistent night. And the number 71 machine looks pretty good, all things considered, that Smith Media Production Chevrolet, because a lot of guys were getting physical, and it was quite a physical fight in front and behind you there at the end. Walk us through your race.
Oh yeah, I started P6 and I knew I had a fast car. Just need to, stay off the wall and avoid the other cars. Don't make contact. And I knew if I could keep it clean and stay at the front, I will have a run at the end. So that's a good race. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the team. We had a good run, and yeah, that's all I need to say. I'm happy for finishing third. That's good. That's a good job.
And we knew you guys were fast because the top 5 car in practice. A good qualifying effort as well, I'm sure, did wonders for you guys because you started at P6. That puts you on the outside at the start of the race. The progressive banking here at Irwindale makes the outside the place to be. How difficult was it for guys to go on the inside?
Well, at the start it was more difficult, but I think as the track rubbed in, you could actually, I say it's still difficult to pass, but you could hang on. So the outside was still the place to be, but you could hang on the bottom.
And it's a very good run for you coming home again with the P3 tonight, and into tonight yourself running third in the championship. It's going to be your first top 5, but third top 10 so far on the season. You guys have been very good, still looking for a trip to victory lane. If you look at Justin Fuller and Tony Mongi tonight, maybe where do you think they were a little bit quicker than you that you guys could look to improve on to pop that 71 Chevy in victory circle by the end of the year?
I think they're very good at looking at the track, how it evolved, and on corner exit they seem to be a little bit better than me to get on the gas, so that's where I can improve. But overall, the stability of the car was good in the long run. The pace on the long run was very good, and we have worked hard on that, so it's good to see that pay off.
It absolutely has, because you're still in a very good spot to qualify for the chase with a very strong start to your 2015-2016 campaign. We're going to have next Thursday night off for Thanksgiving. We'll be back, though, on December the 3rd for the Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated 100 from the Five Flags Speedway. What are you looking forward for that one?
Oh, the Five Flags Speedway, that's a great racetrack. The banking makes it extremely fun to race, extremely fast. Hopefully also some multi-group racing there. So there's a lot of good things to look forward to. I think we'll be pretty strong there as well. The track seems to suit the car and me, so hopefully we'll have a good race there.
We look forward to that one. Irwindale, an iconic short track, and for sure Five Flags just as well, Nicholas. As I said, you guys have had a very strong run to your season and another good finish tonight. Any sponsors or shout-outs you want to thank?
Yeah, first of all, a huge thank you to Al Smith Jr. He's doing a big work for this league. Then I would like to thank the series sponsor, MP Roy, LakeCity, Smith Media Production, Repeater Travel, Finn Olsen, VVS, NHR Racing Team, Kasper Trane, Henrik Rasmussen, and you guys in the booth for providing a great broadcast. I can't wait to watch it.
You guys put on quite the show tonight, Nicholas. Thanks for sticking around and chat with us again. Congratulations on the top 3. Congrats on the top 3 in the points as well so far through 4 races. Wish you the best of luck. Enjoy your off week. We'll see you at Five Flags.
Thank you very much.
That is your third place finisher on the evening, Nicholas Rasmussen. A very strong car all night long in third. We were talking a little bit earlier, Cisco, about that Mach 2 Management Hard Charger. The man that gets that tonight, as I mentioned, 27 spots to the positive for Tony Mongi. Pretty good night, but I'm sure he would have liked just one more. You're caught up in the stall of the 92 machine.
Yeah, I've caught up with Tony Mongi down here on pit road. And Tony, I gotta ask, you had Nicholas behind you. Was that a little bit of a Scandinavian flick you were trying there in 3 and 4?
Yeah, I was trying everything I could to get that win. You know, I felt like coming from what basically was dead last. I got in here a little late and went a lap down. Came back from that and was trying to go for it all there. Fuller was obviously very, very fast, and we had a great battle. I mean, we were bouncing off the wall, sideways, everything. It felt like we were really dirt tracking it out there. It felt like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun to call and talk us through kind of that progressive banking because, it's one of the few tracks where kind of that high line is king of the road. You aren't really going to that apex at all. Talk us through kind of running here. What's kind of the challenge you think, the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is probably the single groove aspect of it. You know, everybody's going fighting for the top most of the time. I found at certain times in the race I could make the bottom work, or I watched other people make the bottom work, and it really worked out for them when they could get it to work. Unfortunately, you might have to ruffle some feathers or kind of get into somebody to get underneath of them. But for the most part, yeah, I'd say the single grooveness of the track really makes it tough.
Well, Tony, you put on a great show for everyone watching. That was just an epic race to watch, and you come home the hard charger easily. Who do you want to thank?
I got to thank both my teammates, AJ Bunch and Brandon Odo, for everything. I can't do this without them and iRacing memes. They are the best teammates in the world, and hopefully we can come back strong here at Five Flags in the next couple weeks. So thank you guys.
All right, well, that's Tony Manchi. He finished second right there, and I believe Evan is in victory lane with, I suspect, a somewhat tired out Justin Fuller.
He had to work hard for this one, and it was a dominating performance, but not a blowout. Justin Fuller had a couple of late race restarts, actually quite a few, to hold off, but he gets the win tonight at the Irwindale Speedway for his 11th career Upstate Racing League win. The LakeCity Hobbies 100 to the driver of the 51. Caught up with him now down in the virtual Gatorade victory lane. Justin, congratulations to you. Fun race for us to watch. The progressive banking has you guys pinned up against the fence, and although you claim you weren't in the fence, I'll stay in the fence at times. Walk us through that one from behind the helmet.
Oh man, what a race. The car was just hooked up all night. A couple times it got loose on the late exit. But John Ada there, he was my sponsor, Ada Sound Wraps, the owner of that, John Ada. He was right behind me in second place, and he showed me a line. I was watching him in my mirror. He was getting really good runs to the center off, and I'm like, man, I gotta follow that line. And I tried it, and sure enough, there's a lot of grip up there next to that wall, and we just kept it there the rest of the night, and ended up working out for us.
We talked a little bit about the tire strategy earlier in tonight and how these races have been either one way or another. Either tires are the deciding factor or people don't go for tires. We've seen a lot of guys shy away from the tires because they're going to help you, but you find yourself back in the pack. And if you find yourself in a scenario like this with a lot of caution flags, not a lot of time to get back up through the field. What's your thought on that?
I'm pretty sure my thought process is if we had started the race off with a solid 50-lap run, 40-lap run, I probably would have pitted right then and not pitted the rest of the race. But because we only had like 20-lap runs, I think a 20-lapper was the maximum we ran. I was like, it's not worth it getting back there in that traffic. It's really hard to pass. I mean, you could do a slide job, but because everybody's on top of everybody, you can slide one guy, but you're going to door another guy. So the safest place, in my opinion, was out front, and that's what we stuck to all night.
Brandon Odo, not a good run tonight, so I believe you'll take over the championship lead after tonight. Really, the big picture, though, is once we get through the opening 9 races on this season, we all reset for the chase for the championship. But for you, I don't really want to say finally, but you get the W here tonight. Adds to the tally, your third top 5, third top 10 on the season. You guys got to be satisfied with the way this has started off for you.
Yeah, great season to start off with. I feel like I robbed myself at Iowa. Really should have had that one. I pitted and got myself in a bad position going 4 wide and having a wreck. Oxford got second. I can't complain too much about that. Martinsville ended up third. It's nice to finally get the win, though. Hopefully we can continue on this. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. I just need solid finishes to get in the chase, but the wins are going to be bonus points to start off in the chase, and with it only being 3 races this season for the chase, all those bonus points are going to mean a lot.
Well, a big step in the right direction tonight with this win, your 11th career in the Upstate Racing League. You're a winner in 2015, 2016. Justin, the sponsors and shout-outs to people on the car who powers you on Thursday nights.
I want to thank Ada Sign Wraps, Nasty North Sticker Company, MP Roy for that's for sponsoring the car, John Ada. MP Roy for sponsoring the series. I got the NHRA Pole Award. Thank them. NHR Pole Award. Lake City RC Speedway, Hag TV, iRacing Memes, Hanson Starter Shop, anybody that sponsors this league, LSRTV, you guys in the booth, you guys do an amazing job. I can't wait to watch this race tomorrow. Put it up on the TV and I'll watch it. And can't wait. Thank you, Al Smith, Upstate Racing League. He's putting on one heck of a league right now. And it's grown so much. From last year, it was a caution fest with a pack of cars. Now we got 25, 30 cars, and we're getting 15, 20 lap runs, solid green flag racing, good clean racing. And I can't wait for not next week, Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And can't wait for Five Flags because that is going to be one hell of a race.
We look forward to it as well in 2 Thursdays from now on December the 3rd. Justin, thanks for hanging out, kicking a can with us. Congratulations to you. Do want to thank you for sticking around and chatting. You as well. Enjoy your off week, and we'll see you at Five Flags because I think everybody's amped up for that one.
Yes. You guys have yourself a great Thanksgiving and have a good night.
Justin Fuller, your big winner tonight from the Irwindale Speedway. And as we said, Cisco, after the checkered flag flew, the stat sheet not going to say he led every lap, but he did. And he was dominant. Tony Manji kept him honest, but this was a Justin Fuller race, and he got it.
Yeah, absolutely. He put on a great performance here at Irwindale. And we're going to take a look at your final finishing order here. Of course, we're talking about him. Justin Fuller is going to get the big one there. So that's the first W for the season. I believe you're right. That will put him into the lead in points. Tony Manji is going to come home a hard-charging second. Nicholas Rasmussen is going to come home third. Cody Myers is going to go fourth. AJ Bunch going to finish P5. EJ O'Rourke going to go to P6. Charlie Ryan, who is using the bottom lane, he goes to P7. Zachary Mason is going to go to P8. Bruce Hilton is going to finish P9. And Brandon Wilkinson is going to come home 10th.
Dylan Godet goes 25th to 11th tonight. You're outside of pole sitter Stefan Baranek in 12th. 13th for Rodney Hack. Joshua Cotton in 14th. And 15th for Al Smith Jr. Danny DeBuke in 16th. 17th to Philip Thompson. Justin McDuff at 18th. 19th for A.J. Hamill. And final driver finishing on the lead lap in 20th. The 21 of Roger Holtzclaw.
Finishing 21st, minus 11. Brian Rogers Jr., minus 15th and 22nd. Mike Holtzclaw. Everyone else, I believe, had pulled it behind the wall. So TJ Graves going to finish 23rd, 24th to Cale Frenier, 25th to Brandon Odo, 26th to John Ada, 27th to Dale O'Neill. Jay DeBuke going to come home 28th, and Eric Hagg going to come home 29th. And CJ LeVere going to finish 30th, 80 laps down.
We knew Irwindale would be exciting. Multiple groups of racing. Five Flags, though. You gotta love that racetrack in Cisco. Off week, we'll be there in 2 Thursdays from now. A lot of the time with short tracks, because short tracks are always so different. You'll get a guy that likes the racetrack, you'll get a guy that doesn't like the racetrack, and you can see because guys have tough weeks. I don't think I know many people, though, that don't like Five Flags. That should be a very competitive race.
Absolutely, and I'm definitely keep an eye on that 96 machine of Stefan Marinak. He had a great run there in the Fall Brawl that was on here on LSRTV. And of course, I think it's just gonna be a great race.
We look forward to that, and you can also look forward to a lot of exciting sim racing in the coming days from LSRTV. Tomorrow night, our Friday night doubleheader with the Ron Car Truck Tour and the iSuperspeedway.com Racing Series. Saturday night doubleheader, the Domino's TYJ Racing on LSRTV 2, United Sim Racing on LSRTV, those 8:30 and 9 o'clock. Pacific Majors Championship from Homestead on Sunday. We have the RSR Championship on Monday, and the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series on Tuesday before a little break for the Thanksgiving week. Do want to encourage everybody, go to livesimracing.com. More information on that as well. Give us a like. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/livesimracingtv. That does it, though, from Irwindale. And until next time, another race is into the books. On behalf of everybody at LSRTV and for the broadcast crew tonight, myself, Evan Pasoko, Cisco Scaramuza, and Laura Lawson, we thank you for tuning in. Big thanks to all the sponsors, and congratulations to Justin Fuller, winner and new points leader in the Upstate Racing League. More pro late model action in 2 Thursdays. We'll see you at the Five Flag Speedway after the Thanksgiving break. Good night.